you join us tonight. It's a celebration of one of the momentous evenings that we've ever had as Pioneer Athletics. I'm Todd Garrett, Director of Athletics, and I'm joined by our head basketball coach, Rocky Lamar. And we're just thankful that you're going to join us tonight for something pretty special, something new to us. And we're standing inside the Cook Center in the Bell Family Arena, and as you look around, it's quite different. But I tell you what, I have a memory of 2007, and we would fill this thing with anywhere between 1,200 and 2,000 people a night. And that went on to be one of the most special years we could ever have, and you can see on the scoreboard of how that year ended, Coach. And I'm curious, you mind sharing with those people that are watching tonight, what's one of the biggest memories you have with that group, that team, and that year?
Well, to be honest, the biggest memory of that whole tournament was in the second game against Mount Vernon Nazarene.
Yeah.
And Danny Hawkins had a putback basket. Hep drove and missed a shot inside, and Danny put it back with 0.6 seconds left.
Yeah.
And they took the ball out of bounds, and a Quinn, if you ever could see a Quinn and his big old smile, smiling all over the place. He said, "I touched that ball, Coach." They threw the ball in, and it got tipped, and it went all the way to the right side of the floor, and the kid throws up a three as the horn goes off.
Yep.
It was headed right toward it and bounced off. So as far as, that was one that could have ended the whole thing.
Yep.
But other than that, those guys were they were clued in, man. It was, look out, here we come. And that's the way they played the whole tournament. They get behind, and come storming back.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Special group.
Special group of kids.
Special group.
And you know what is lost in the shuffle is also a year we went to Italy. And we beat 3 pro teams in Italy, you know,
right.
and that probably would have been the highlight if these guys hadn't made a great run there at the end.
Sure.
You know? So they were so much fun to be around.
Well, special group, I have great memories of that because that was my first year out of coaching.
Oh.
And I had the privilege of being able to be in Point Lookout on March 13th and watch every stinking minute of that entire week. So, I think about, this sits in my office, and it's a list of the entire group of athletes and coaches. And Coach, I'm curious, as you look at that, I know you have one as well. I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell me about a guy or two on that list that was a catalyst to help you get to that national championship.
Well, to be quite frank, that's really hard to do. I mean, Adam Hepker ended up being first team All-American that year, and he was the player of the year in the tournament.
Yeah.
And he was just a phenomenal leader. And in fact, I probably talk about it tonight, but in the first game of that tournament, he broke a tendon in his little finger on his shooting hand, and they had to figure out a way to straighten that out so he could play in it. And of course, Danny Hawkins inside was just a beast. When he caught it in there, he was going to score it. Yeah. And so we did our best to get him the ball inside all the time. But when you watch the game tonight, you'll notice how good a Quinn War was. Although he went 2 for 9, I gave him a hard time. Believe it or not, I got to talk to him because he's really, but a Quinn was special. I mean, any mistakes that we happened to make defensively, he took care of them, and he really took care of them in that game. So that's 3 guys that really, and I can't, Cal Kibbers, Jake Neller, Matt Clark, Brenton Bell, Ryan Rundberg, all those guys were great guys.
The list goes on. And you know what's probably most significant is not what happened that year, but the kind of men they've become. And to look back at these guys and see their names and see the impact you've had on them, Coach, thanks for your service and what you've done. And I know they would say the same thing, but special group of guys, and we're honored to celebrate them. We're honored to celebrate you and your staff, and we hope you enjoy tonight's simulcast, if you will, or playback of the 2007 National Championship game.
All right, welcome to the live stream of the 2007 Division II NAIA Men's Basketball National Championship. I'm Sports Information Director Chad Jenkins. We're joined alongside head coach of that team and current head coach Rocky Lamar. Welcome, Coach.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun tonight, Chad.
And here is Rocky coming up right here on the picture, making sure everything looks good. Sorry for that technical difficulty that we got started, but we'll listen to the game and talk through it as we go.
There he is. He's fat. That guy's fat. We can say that about him. But that was a fun year, that's for sure. It's really interesting to see who ends up in the stands.
Right.
Go through this.
Now, this happened the year before I arrived on campus. Go through the starting lineup for us real quick.
Okay, right there, we'll just go ahead. It looks Cal Kibbers at 6'9". He came off of a ACL injury the year before, and he was a big catalyst to us. And Adam Hepker was first-team All-American that year and Player of the Year in the league. And, in fact, Player of the Year in the tournament. Jacob Neller, 6'5" kid from Gardner, Kansas. He was phenomenal. He couldn't play until he was a junior. And then, now that thing went off there. So, Quinn, of course, was just unbelievable in this particular game. I think he had a triple-double. And Danny Hawkins, who was also a 3-time All-American.
So here's how you got there. This is how Mayville got there, or this is how we got there, both.
Yeah, when you see that Indiana Wesleyan score, that's a team the kids will tell you that was the best team we played against. And we had an 18-0 run against them at the end of the first half and beginning of the second half. And Northwestern was the only game where we just led the whole game. Hepker was unbelievable in that game to get us there. I think he ended up with 21, although he did foul out.
Okay.
So
Mayville State there looks like they beat Cedarville and then Northwest. Now, when you came into this game, it looks like Mayville is number 13. Is that 13 seed in the tourney, or is that on their side? What were they ranked?
Well, the way they seeded it back then was 1 through 32.
Okay.
So we were seeded second, they were seeded 13th.
Okay, so this wasn't like some out-of-nowhere Cinderella 13 seed the way we normally think of it. This is a top 15 team. They're legit.
Definitely. And they had Ronald Howard was a jet, so good, a jet, and the kid inside, Monty Rogers, ended up playing overseas for a couple years, and it was very, very difficult to guard them.
Well, if you're listening, give us a wave on social media. Give us some comments, ask some questions. We'll get to those questions and see if you have any good answers for us.
Well, and we kind of X'd off this kid that hits the very first three. We were having a Quinn try to protect the basket for us, so his kid catches the ball out there on the wing, which you'll see, and hits the first shot he takes. I think he averaged 3 a game, and he gets the first 3 for them. Can't remember what his name was. But.
All right, well, let's get this going here. Here's the tip with Quinn War.
You would think a Quinn could get that, wouldn't you?
That's a horrible toss by the ref.
I agree with that 100%.
Wow. Now, I've never seen this game, so this is my first viewing of this. I came the next year, and you guys were the defending champs.
Okay, so you can see a Quinn's back in the middle of the lane almost, and the kid catches the ball, and we were in shock that he shot it. And sure enough, he hit it. We had a great start here, as you're going to find out.
Yeah.
Hep almost traveled there. But we really do a good job of trying to get the ball inside Hawkins.
What was the team attitude like before this game? Was it a superior confidence, or was it like nerves? What was it?
You mean I don't know why the game started off like it did. Like, I thought Danny, he did get killed there, but they said he wasn't shooting it, so we had to take the ball out of bounds. Danny, of course, was not a great free throw shooter. In fact, that team only shot about 63% from the floor on the year, from the free throw line on the year. But of those 63% misses, 37% misses, we got half of them. So.
Hawkins, as we saw in the semifinals firsthand last night, very alert at helping move the ball around.
We're going to try to get it inside to Dan there, and I mean, we can't get a better shot than that, and so that's the way we started. And then Cal gets the rebound. We can't get a better shot than that. And so all of a sudden we're down 3-zip, and they have the ball, and that kid was so quick with the ball. And then they're trying to go inside to Rogers, who's a first-team All-American.
Turnover. So what?
Now, how do you mean that's a turnover? They get the ball.
Ooh.
They kept the ball on that play.
You're still yelling at these refs 13 years later, 14 years later.
Oh, now take a look at me.
Yeah, he is.
I'm just in shock. How
do you miss that call?
Just in shock. But anyway.
What type of team was Mayville State? What was their strength? This guy?
Yeah. He was going to score in there. And they were a running team. They put up a lot of points. So it really was, they said before the game started, in fact, that they kind of expected the game to be in the 80s, both teams to be in the 80s. So we sure didn't start off very well, but we've gotten 3 really good looks at the basket. This is another good look by Hep. I mean, he usually hits that. Didn't bank it. Got a bank, Hep. And Hawk gets the rebound. I thought he got killed.
I saw Hawkins his junior and senior year, and I didn't see that many missed layups in the combined season.
No, he never missed.
Never missed.
No. Now, he's only a sophomore here,
right.
And so
Council points right now are clearly going to Mayville. They have come out of the locker room ready to go tonight.
Now that's a tough basket to get over Cal.
Oh, yeah.
No one's going to make that.
And it would have sure been great having Cal the next year when we played Oregon Tech. That would have been wonderful.
We'll get to that. That was my first year here, and this is the second of 4 straight Final Fours that this team went to.
Yeah, they were a special team. Now Quinn trying to. I'll tell you what, Mayville State did a great job. We back cut Northwestern the game before and got to shoot layup after layup, and they did a great job of taking that away from us. And in fact, they picked off a couple of passes in the second half on it. But this is not a great start. See, that's what I'm talking about. We got that over and over again in the Northwestern game, and we turned the ball over way too much.
The Comets right now on fire. Karam goes right to Stengen.
That's a walk.
And they called it.
How much preparation do you get for a team like this? You played yesterday, right?
That's
or was
right.
it 2 days ago?
No, always in the national tournament, if you get to the championship game, you will have played on a Monday, and then we played Tuesday night against them.
So the Monday game was against who?
The Monday game was against Northwestern out of Iowa.
And you just smoked them. So what did you get to see of Mayville before this game?
Well, believe it or not, I send my assistants, and I took the team out to eat after the game. We watched the first half, so we just seen the first half, and in fact, Mayville State was behind.
Okay.
And so we were thinking we were going to have to play Northwestern out of Oregon, I think, or Washington. And then these guys went on an unbelievable run in the second half.
I keep getting confused by that cross court. It looks like the baseline is further up.
Oh, it does.
Out of bounds.
That line that goes there. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Dan Hull watching. He's always a big supporter of MNU Athletics. Thanks for watching, Dan.
Oh, Danny, he follows us everywhere. And besides that, he's a great Cardinals fan, Chad.
I don't know anything about that.
And then Cal just threw that thing away, and all of a sudden it's 9-0.
Here comes Mayville State again. Give him a TO. Give him a TO. They need a timeout.
Great play by Rogers there.
And you just call this timeout. There's no, you just have to do it.
Yeah,
You don't like calling timeouts early.
I do not. And I usually want to call a timeout after a made basket. So I had to call it there, and I was so mad. And Coach Fleming, who of course just passed away last January, he grabbed me and said, "Hey, relax, we're going to win this thing." And now after I've watched it a couple of times, I know why I felt that way, because my goodness, we were getting such easy shots inside and couldn't score. And so I didn't blow up at him in the timeout even. And I just said, "Hey, we're going to get a great shot here." And sure enough, we come out of the timeout, and you're going to love what happens, since this is the first time you've seen it, because I was sure that we were going to get a great look at the basket.
Okay, and it looks like you took out a couple starters there. It looks like I see Clark and Runberg in the game now.
They are in the game. And I can't remember who else is out, but I wasn't upset with anyone,
right,
at all. And so Runberg is supposed to be over here on the left, and of course, Hep does a great job here. I think he hits the middle of the scores table.
That's what you want out of a timeout, for sure.
Oh man, it was such a good timeout. And you can see I was through.
But you're not freaking out or anything.
No, I really thought that, man, we got such great looks, we're going to be okay. And but still, you begin to wonder, and the kids begin to wonder a little bit.
Oh, here we are.
And then it goes real quick to the next.
Okay. Let's just look at this real quick. So you got Hepker and Rogers are represented in this game.
Yeah. And the second team, seeing Schudeman, we played him the night before from Northwestern, is up there. But it was there were some great players there. That Alec Cook kicked us the year before from Huntington when we lost in the semifinals.
Okay. So this is when Dennis Troyer just said, this is when we said, why did we drive down here for this game? As they're down 11-0.
Well, as a matter of fact, my wife, who had left the arena in the game that we lost in the championship game before, and I was told not to say that because she said she didn't, but I'm sure she did. And she said she was upstairs crying. I just watched it from upstairs crying.
Now, Hepker never came out of the game. What was just a few minutes here early on?
He basically got to put himself back in when he was ready to go back in, but we just gave him a little break here. And now the whole idea was try to get the ball inside to Hawk, and I think we did a pretty good job here. Although Matt had to shoot at the end of the shot clock. There's Hawk.
That's what
Finally.
I remember of him.
Yes, so good at that. So good at that.
I've been here 13, 14 years now, and he remains my favorite men's basketball player of
Well, I got to be
my time
real,
here,
I
for
got to
sure.
be real careful. Come on, Quinn. Throw a completion. I hope you're watching it, Quinn. Danny was so good, and of course he came up on a football visit, and I went and watched him play against a kid that thought was going to be our post player in a scrimmage, and I said, we'll take that kid if we don't get him till February. And,
Right.
He's as good as we've ever had, and I think he's the best we've ever had, honestly.
Well, I just loved his demeanor. He never, if he'd missed 5 in a row, which was rare, or if he dominated you 5 times in a row, his expression never changed and his demeanor never changed. He was never yelling at refs or teammates or anything like that. I always loved that about him.
You can never tell if he was playing well or if he was playing poorly. You can never tell. And of course, we always ran a little play here. That was his play. The idea is throw the ball inside. We called it Spartan, got it from Michigan State. And we tried to get in there to him all the time on that.
Now, I never saw Jake Neller play, but I've heard all the stories about how great he was. Similar to Brenton Bell in the type of game they played. Is that accurate?
Jake was 6'5", a little bit taller.
Right.
And, of course, he grew 3 or 4 inches when he came here. Great shooter and really good defender. So, yeah, I mean, a whole lot like Brenton, you know, is a great way to put it.
Wow, a Quinn with an amazing block right there.
Yeah, he's a Quinn special. And then Hawkins scores it. When he gets down in there and he uses the glass, it's very good. It's very good. And you can see, I mean, you can't tell. You can't tell if he made or missed that shot, you know. But it's just so nice. That's the basket before.
Well, he was here for 4 years and didn't miss a Final Four, so that's pretty remarkable.
That's pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable. I think while he was here, we won 120 games in the 4 years, which is unheard of. Yeah. You know, so give him a little blow there.
He was great. I don't think I ever said one word to him in the 2 years that I saw him, but I just loved his game for sure. I don't know if he said 2 words to anybody.
Yeah, he did to us.
Right.
But trying to get back in. Oh, that's a great look for Jake. He usually hits that. That is an unbelievable tip. Wow. I mean, Quinn just about, you know, could have dunked it.
Tell his story. He was a JV kid, wasn't he?
Now Quinn, he played JV a little bit as a freshman, but by the time he was done, he was playing quite a few minutes as a freshman.
Right.
But man, every year around January, he would just wear out, and he couldn't seem to keep it going. And so his junior year, I told him, I said, "Come on now, Quinn, you got to keep showing up late in the year." And of course, they have a great story about him on this video.
Okay.
And I think that maybe when it comes on, if you and I could just enjoy it, because it's a great story of a Quinn. I think it's when we're. I think it's 17-10 or something like that when the story comes on. But it's really good. It explains his whole story of how he got here and what happened in the Sudan. He was from the Sudan, of course. Okay, now there we were supposed to run an ice on that kid, and our big did not, wasn't on the right side to ice it. And of course, he just ran to the basket and shot a layup.
And I've always heard you say you don't like helping in that situation. Tell me about that.
We don't. I mean, we think that we want the guy, if we want to hold him, we want to be able to guard the person who we're guarding. Now, of course, with Dakota this year, anytime somebody went to the basket, we want him to go and help, but then we've got to learn to help the helper.
Right.
And this group was pretty good at that. So.
Or helping off a shooter or something like that. Maybe that's what.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I remember Hepker spent most of his time in the 1 year I saw him play.
Yeah, he'd
get 14 free throws a game or so.
And I get really mad now when we play against teams that they have a guy like Hep who jumps into you on every, makes the official make a call.
Right.
And but anyway, Hep is pretty amazing. And of course, he's playing this game with his pinky finger on his right hand. He can't straighten it out. It happened in the first game of the tournament.
He seemed, I only saw his senior year, and he was just such a warrior and always getting his numbers and always leading the team and always out there. I loved his game as well.
Hep was just phenomenal. Such a great leader, and you'll get to see him a couple of times, on the film where he's going up to somebody and smiling or letting them know when they're screwing up. And when there's a huddle, he's the one always talking in the huddle on the floor. And, just a great leader. Of course, now he's a great coach. He was with us on the Final Four team in 2014 as a coach, and then he took Grandview, was on the Grandview team that went to the national tournament, I think, in 2015. Or 16 or 17, I can't remember what year it was.
I really like the way the comments have come out here tonight. They were very business-like to shoot around. They came out, walked through everything.
Chris Smith, watching, asks, what was our final record on this team?
34-2.
That's decent.
Not bad. Not bad.
Changing the mindset of this team, teaching them maturity, teaching them to mold them into becoming.
Here I think we do a pretty good job, and Runberg, who's come off the bench, I believe hits a 3 for us here, but I'm not positive if he's in the game. Yeah, I think Hep brings it right back to him. They kind of sagging in on Hawkins there, and so all of a sudden it goes from 11 zip to 17-13, and we know we're right back in it.
This is Clark with the ball there. I don't remember him. Is he a senior here?
He's a senior. He's a senior. He married to Rachel, has 3 kids. Just a financial. He's a director of finance at Send Learning. But anyway, I think you're going to get here in this next little clip. We should just be quiet. Here it comes.
4-point game here, first half of this NAIA National Championship. A basketball day, though small in the life of Aquin Ward. He was one of the thousands of lost boys from Sudan, forced to flee their homeland along with his mother Monica and others. Aquin walked 1,800 miles to freedom. Thousands didn't make it. They drowned, were shot by military forces, eaten by wild animals, or died from hunger, dehydration, or fatigue. He managed to survive and now thrive here in America. Grew up in Des Moines, got there in 8th grade, was 5'7", didn't play basketball till January of his senior year in high school, now 6'7", and boy, he has developed into a great basketball student athlete, and now a person that lives and calls this country home.
Well, I tell you what, he's a person that needs to be admired by anyone that's at home watching this game, any one of the fans, because of everything that he's gone through. Look at your own life and try to picture yourself walking 1,800 miles in desert terrain. That's unheard of, and for him to be able to get to where he's at right now is a true testament to the strength of his mother, because that's the overlooked portion of it, is how his mother protected him and made sure and guided him and put him in a situation where now he's living a dream, not only for himself, but of many other kids here in the United States that play high school basketball across the country, be able to play for a national championship, and here he is getting it done.
Making the most of
So on our highlight video of the national tournament, poor Matt, I think he missed the only shot that we missed on the highlight video because I wanted everybody to hear Quinn's story.
All right.
Yeah.
So walked 1,800 miles?
Yeah. They had to walk to 2 different countries. Of course, they were being pursued by the army from the north. In that thing, the military was in the northern part of the Sudan. So that's an interesting story.
And how old was he when that was happening?
I think 7, I believe.
That's a lot different than what my kids have gone through, I'll tell you that.
Or mine too.
Man.
Mine too.
No more complaining from my kids.
Yeah. And so another really neat thing about this is Ryan Runberg was a 3-year starter on this team, and he came up to me before the year started when Cal was going to be healthy and back. And he said, hey man, I think I can make this team better by coming off the bench. That's a Kansas Gatorade Player of the Year his senior year in high school. That's an amazing thing to do. And you'll watch Ryan will lead like crazy in all the huddles and everything else. So.
He was a senior this year too. I never saw him either.
Yep, he was a senior. He scored 1,000 points in his career. Kibler scored over 1,000. Jake scored over 1,000. Quinn scored over 1,000. Of course, Hawk and Hep scored over 2,000.
Some decent talent.
Decent talent. It's pretty easy to coach them. And they were such great kids.
Now this is Division II. We moved up to D1 in the NAIA 2 years later. But this team would have competed at any level.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it would have been. In fact, the next year in the fall, we went to Oklahoma City and played Oklahoma City in a regular season game. And Oklahoma City was the Division I defending national champions.
Yeah.
And we won there. So, of course, we didn't have a Quinn, and we didn't have Runberg, and we didn't have Neller. So,
Or Kibbers.
no, we did have Kibbers.
Oh, that was the first semester?
Yeah, we had Kibbers for about 11 games. So we would have had him. With Cal, I think we won our first 11 games the next year, maybe even more than that. That's a great play by Ryan. Excuse me. Now that's what Hepker's really good at. He is going to attack. He's going to spread the floor. He's going to get to the baseline. He's just so hard to guard.
So we've lost the graphic here. What's the score at this point? Got to be close.
I think we're down 2 or 4. I think he misses that. There you go. Down by 4, 22-18.
Hep wanted a foul there.
Hep always wanted a foul. I hope he's listening. You talk about, and he still wants all the fouls as a coach,
Of course. I wonder where he gets that from.
I don't have any idea.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea. I hope his mom is watching this.
Good job by both of these teams right now. You knew this game was going to settle down. This wasn't going to be, a 25-2.
Jacob Neller, he didn't play a whole lot on the varsity until his junior year. He was definitely a JV player. Now, I told him when we recruited him, I didn't think he could ever get a play for us. And I said, hey, if you take 1,000 shots a day, no telling what'll happen. Well, he started taking tons of shots every day, and then he grew 3 or 4 inches and became our best defender.
I wasn't listening. Who are you talking about?
Jacob Neller.
Okay.
Don't mean to bore you there, Chad.
Yeah. So that's the kind of offense you guys are used to running.
That's right, and that's what everybody anticipated the game being like.
You play in the 90s if you play like that.
Yeah,
but it didn't end up that way.
No, it did not.
Patrick Cairns watching, Ryan Robinson watching.
Whoop, whoop. Hi, Rye.
Yeah, when they go to the free throw line, we might need to.
Oh, yeah.
To put that on.
That's a great idea.
Sarah May's watching.
Oh, yeah, my beautiful daughter. I told her, I almost made her come and sing the national anthem beforehand, Chad.
That would have worked. Could have done that.
I didn't think she was crazy about that. But
Todd Peterson watching. Thanks for watching.
that's so good. Now you
Cindy Hepker watching.
Oh, good, Cindy. Hi, good to see you. Good to know you're there. You can see that's the 8-minute mark, right?
Yeah, you're
of the
down
first
2.
half. But they have 24, and so at about the 12-minute mark in the game, I think they end up with 35. So it's just a really unbelievable defensively here. That's what happens when you have a Quinn down there. Now, Danny, you don't bank. It still doesn't go in. I hope you're watching, Dan.
Yeah, let us know if you're watching. Leave a comment.
I will try to answer it.
Yeah, ask a question. We got our producer Keegan over here taking care of us on social media. Sorry that we couldn't get it going right away. We don't know what happened, but we got it going now. And let us know again in the comments another game that you might want to see, that if we have it on DVD or in the archives. If you want us to go through something else in a different sport even.
There was Brooks Butler in the stands.
Okay.
He was on the 05, his senior in 05. Good to see Brooks there.
He's got 10. So great start for him, sizzling right from the get-go. And that's the thing I love about his game, is he can also shoot that mid-range jumper. He's so comfortable floating out to the short corner.
That's a great block.
That's really nice. That's that All-American guy,
That's
right?
yeah. He played several years over in Europe.
For 3 now. Rebound by Gila did not job down low.
So it wasn't like, that we just erased that 11-point lead and it was all over. I mean, they hung in there this whole first half.
He went weak side. So he stayed weak side. He didn't follow the ball over.
Who was the 1 seed in this tournament?
Bellevue out of Nebraska. And they got beat by Northwest in the second round. Way ahead. That's the way Ronberg plays all the time.
And that's even after missing a bad shot.
Yes.
He's ready to dive on the floor, still not pout about it.
Yeah. Well, you watch these guys. I mean, after a made basket, they all turn and run down the floor to guard, which was very important. If they make a mistake, they run down the floor. That was really nice about this team. You never had to worry about their effort.
open man usually is found.
Was that a passive-aggressive comment about any current teams?
There is an outside chance. I thought Hep got fouled on that.
So did he.
No call.
That's all right. Made up
tough
for it
miss.
there. They call a foul over the back.
Cal Kibbers and family all watching.
Oh, Cal. I got to talk to him today. Cal's done a great job in Oklahoma City. He's a State Farm agent there. And he and his wife Jamie with Sully and Elsa as their children. Elsie is just 5 weeks old. Elsie, not Elsa. But, and it was so nice getting to talk to him today. Of course, he promised me he'd send me some money. How's that grab you, Cal?
We'll take any you got.
Anything you got. Anything you got.
Kevin Garber watching.
Oh.
Kristen Bird.
Oh, yeah, Kristen Bird. Well, Kristen Bird was my manager.
Right.
Yeah, she was my manager at this game. Hi, Kristen.
Dave Fraley watching from Nampa.
Dave Fraley. His son, Mark, played all 4 years for me. Dave was a missionary in France. And so we went over to France while Mark was in school here, and the Fraleys just did a great job of taking care of us over there.
Carrie Boots Meyer. Hey, Coach. Meyer fam is watching.
Oh, yeah, Darren. That's Darren's wife. Myers are great people. Of course, Braden is going to, I think he signed with UCM. That's a pretty good block for that kid.
Wow.
Great job defensively that time. Slow rotations.
Great shot, Cal. By the way, I don't think Cal scores until the second half, and then bam, he has 7 when we blow the game wide open.
Cal was a unique talent, and for this level, for sure. I don't know if I've still seen a player like him.
Oh, you know, he could have played the point. There's no doubt he could have played the point. He handled the ball that well, and in fact, he played the point some in high school. He was a football quarterback. You know, he was just a great addition to this team. And he was from Monticello, Iowa, which was one of our big rivalries when I was in high school. Adam and me both.
Amy David and Amy Messer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. They're our honorary coaches for the Division I tournament.
Okay.
So, yeah. Nice.
Paul Meinke. Good to see you again, Paul, the Meinke family.
Yeah.
Josh Bennett watches everything. Mayville State's coach is now the coach at Utah State.
Yes.
Thanks for that nugget.
That's right. He's a whale of a coach. Nice pass, Brent. You still can't throw it through hands. It's not possible.
Freshman mistake?
Yeah. Pretty good freshman.
Yeah, it turned into a decent career, did that?
Yes, he did. He was player of the year in the league his senior year. Now you talk about his pass. That's a great play defensively. That's how unselfish these kids were. I mean, Cal finding Jake there for an easy one. I think right down here, Brent gets his hand on another ball.
Danny Hawkins' family watching. Love and miss this team and the coaches.
I miss you, Danny. I'd take you anytime. I'd take you now.
Rob Ramsire's watching. You can go ahead and sign off. We don't care about that. Who else did I see? Eric Montgomery is SID of the conference for a few years. Nick Robinson, the SID from JBU, probably trying to steal this idea.
Oh.
I like it.
Tough basket.
Wow. So you still haven't taken the lead yet?
We don't ever take the lead in the first half.
Okay. Spoiler alert.
Sorry about that. I keep getting ahead of myself. That's only natural, I think. We're still down 6 there, in fact. He's talking about that Ronnie Howard, who is such a good player for them. So quick.
It's good defense and tough shot. That's good.
That's a better outlet of Quinn. This is a great pass. So unselfish.
Philip Runberg watching the game.
Neller's got 6. Pioneers claw back within 4 here with under 4 to go first half. This
Well, they were so much fun to watch.
National Championship. Jason Knapp, Sean Farnham here from Point Lookout, Missouri. Hope you're enjoying it.
That's Howard. So quick. Quinn bothered that.
It'll be Pioneer basketball. This 32-team tournament.
You're going to see this. This is really a good play.
6 days to get it. Passes like that, that'll help the cause.
Fun team.
4-point game here, late first half of this NAIA.
If you're just joining us, I'm with Rocky Lamar. I'm Chad Jenkins, the SID here at MNU. You're watching the You guys did NCCAA for a while.
We did for a few years, yeah. Yeah, but this is
NAIA. Well, they're showing the NCAA tournament there. That's what's confusing me. This is the NAIA Division II 2007 National Tournament, played at Point Lookout, Missouri, on the campus of College of the Ozarks.
Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
Oh, no. They did. I remember that coming up. I don't know why they came up during the broadcast.
This technology that we're using is pretty impressive. We've got this DVD in a PS4, and then that signal is split onto the TV, and then our little camera is pointing at us, and that's fed into our streaming computer. So if you're wondering how to do this, stop, because it's a nightmare. But we can do this and make it happen and talk through games. It's pretty cool tech.
Mayville has equaled Mid-American Nazarene on the boards at 17 apiece. They both got 7 off.
Oh, are they at the free throw line?
They're at the free throw line. Whoop! Oh, it's going to work, Ryan. Whoop!
Whoop! Got him. Thank you. Ryan Robinson, even 14 years later or whatever it was. I can't help but every time I watch a game on the road, I can hear him on the opponent broadcast.
It's amazing. Yeah, Ryan, what a great fan. And Dad does a great job of making sure he gets to all the games. Boy, how'd that feel, Quinn?
Yeah.
Of course, they did
some of your own medicine.
They did a great job of trying to take away our inside. There's no doubt about that.
That ball is going to actually did get blocked by 2.
Kristen Gillette, our great assistant AD, is watching as well. We would love to continue to do this, especially as we have no live events for the foreseeable future. We can play old classic games and talk through them with you. Stay connected with MNU Athletics. Let us know what other games you'd like to see. If we can make it happen, we will.
I'll have to do some digging. This one was easy to find.
Right. I mean, we'd love to do the 2016 women's basketball run to the national title. Maybe even some of your the other Final Four, Fab Four runs that you guys made go through some of those games.
Yeah, maybe some of the Division I ones. I think we made 3 there. So that's, I'd be wanting to foul, by the way.
Yes. Good night, is what you'd be saying.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Gotta let him land. There you go. You get that foul.
Yeah. Hawkins was able to bring the ball to the floor some too.
I remember that as a senior. As a senior, your point guard situation was awkward at best. It was fluid, and sometimes he would bring it up.
Yes, him and Cal both.
Right.
Both of them could run the point. Austin could run the point. Brenton could run the point. So
Vince Tompkins was on that team.
Vince Tompkins ran the point.
And so it was basically whoever could at the point at that moment do it. But this team, it was pretty clear cut.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There was no doubt. Come on, Brenton. See, look at that though. He makes an error, sprinting to get back. You know, not worried about anything else but getting back down the floor.
How did you get guys to do that, or was that the type of player you recruited, or did you make them do that?
Oh, I wish I could say that it's all me, but there's no way, Chad. Those kids.
I think you've either got that or you don't.
I agree.
And I don't.
To me, it makes no sense. If you lose the ball, you should go flying to the other end of the floor.
But I'm mad and pouting now.
Yeah,
and I want to look cool.
You can't do that if we're going to be great. You can't do it.
Well, that's why I didn't play past 8th grade, I guess.
Now this here's that's a great drive by Hep, and Ryan makes the extra pass. Brenton Bell, freshman kid, and all of a sudden we're within 2. That was his Brenton's brother Brody on the bench. We just saw him on the bench. He was such a great leader for us too, and very seldom touched the floor. But man, you got to have guys like that on the bench to lead too.
Mike Burge watching.
Oh yeah, hi Mike.
Hall of Famer. Scott Davis says Alexis is enjoying the game.
Oh, Scott Davis. Yeah, I don't think you've met Scott yet. He and I play golf together. So a great guy. And he sent me a bunch of turkey pictures. Called me a turkey. I think that's a pretty good block.
I think you're right. We've seen a lot of that from the new version of Quinn. We call him just Quinn.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dakota, ton of block shots.
He has over 2 times as many as the Comets have on the entire season as a team by himself.
That's a good stat. SID stat right there.
Averaging more than 3 per game, but he can do
Quinn, you got to make that. You got to make it.
had a chance to get 3 the hard way.
Jacob French watching.
Oh, my.
He was a decent athlete for you.
He was a great player for us. He made, I think we finished in the Elite 8 his senior year. And very seldom can you get on the all-tournament team, but I think he made the all-tournament team. And
30-some points, right?
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
He wants to see the 2013 Elite 8 run and the 2014 Final Four run.
Oh, yeah. We need to find those. We need to find those.
All right, Eric Swan has a question.
Okay.
Caleb and Owen want to know what your favorite play of this game was.
Of this particular game.
That's a tough one to break down. Do you like the hustle plays after failures? Do you like a big dunk later or a big three? Was there a big dunk in this game? There wasn't a lot of dunking back then.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of dunks. I would just have to say the play of a Quinn in this game. I mean, he was so good around the basket, but not doing that stuff.
But that was what you expected, right?
Oh, yeah.
This team wasn't shooting free throws very well.
Yeah. And now this is really a nice play on the inbounds here that you'll get to see. And this is one of my nicest plays. You guys love this. Point guard gets the score.
Who should we look for here?
Look for Hepker.
He's right there at the elbow,
Yep.
14.
Take a peek at this. That's a pretty good cut. That's a pretty good cut. And that tied the game.
There you go.
From 11 to zip, that means we outscored them 31 to 20. And it was a nice play.
All right, who can we see in the crowd here?
Well, it's always fun to see. You can really see it whenever we start going nuts at the end. There's one lady, I don't know who it is, on a block shot by a Quinn goes nuts. And I wish if you're watching,
Yeah,
you
let us
can
know.
tell me who you are. That would be great. And we'll be able to it happens. I think it's already happened, in fact. They'll show you on one of the replays.
Okay.
We've been tied since we started. It's zip. At one point, the lead for Mayville was 11.
We do a great job here on this possession. They
Pioneers have chopped away at it.
end up taking a very tough shot.
Sarah May says this team listened to Dad. That's why they were so good, because they listened. All right, who do we got back there? I think I saw Chuck Nunemaker.
Oh, Chuck's there, I guarantee you. Chuck's there. You'll see Leighton Hepker. Cindy, you'll get to see Leighton a little bit later. Leighton has passed. And he was such a great supporter. And of course, Adam's dad.
Here's a game that we could go through. An interesting suggestion here. When Jacob French hit that buzzer beater against Baker in the conference tournament.
Oh, yeah.
That was just a good game all the way through.
I can dig up some of those games, I think.
All right, the final seconds here.
Look at Matt. He is not letting number 3 touch it. That's pretty good. You got to think, if that's the kind of shot they get, we've done a good job. Brenton might have fouled him.
Good defense.
6 points in the final 6 minutes of the half for Mayville. That's why we've got ourselves a tie ball game.
So did he say 6 points in the final 6 minutes of the half?
Yeah.
So
All right, here's some people. Who we got?
I'd like to see some of these people. I think I saw Don and Faith Bell earlier. There's Ben Swinger, who played, the next couple of years.
Right.
You remember Ben, of course.
Sure. Married Jenna Matson. Made
Oh my!
awesome basketball babies.
Oh, one great story on Ben and Jenna. It would have been this year. Ben got in a game and scored 2 points. Only got to play about a minute. Scored 2 points. So I grabbed Jenna and I said, "Hey," because they were dating. I said, your boyfriend scores a point a minute. We bet you wish you could do something like that." And she goes, "So I think she had 34 that night in 34 minutes."
That works.
Oh, there's that kid who doesn't shoot it. We didn't think shot it. First possession, she hits a 3. And, of course, they ran very well. I think that's when they were up 11-zip right there. This is it. Watch this lady. Right back. See that lady jumped up right in the corner there?
Well, let's check her out. Hold on. See if we can narrow this down.
I can't tell who it is, but it's right. She jumps up. She's right. You're going to see her right here in just a second. Both hands up in the air. There she goes right there. Her hands are going up right now.
Okay, and she's got MNU people near her.
Oh, yeah, she's MNU for sure. She's awfully excited about that play.
Right. Who is that?
Let us know if you know who that is.
Somebody figure it out.
That's great.
Andy Marceau watching. I remember sitting and I watched a few games next to Andy. He was part of the media back then when media used to show up at our games when that was a thing. Yeah, he wants to see the Final Four game in KC.
Oh, okay.
Kibbers and Hawkins both hurt.
Yes.
It was a loss, but it was a great game. I agree with you.
Yeah,
and there were a couple of great games. The Oklahoma Baptist game that year was a great one we might want to go through.
Yeah, I'm willing to do that with any of them. Although I hate to do it with a loss. I'd probably say something I don't want to say.
Right. That was a frustrating game. It was.
Oh, Hawkins was hurt. Kibbers had to get stitches later after the game.
But it was such a improbable run. First year in D1, gutsy performances all over the place. No business being that far. And that was just awesome. It was fun.
Well, in that Oklahoma Baptist game, we go 1 for 11 or 1 for 12 from 3. And look at all those great fans. 1 for 3. There's Martin Ball and jumping in with the R.
There you go.
But that Oklahoma Baptist game, we go 1 for 11, and we called a timeout when I think we were down 2. And we go, do we want to go into overtime? We want to win this thing.
Can you read that?
Got to get my glasses on.
That might be someone for you.
All season long possession. CSTV. Those guys going all over the place. And the folks from
Logan Newbert.
Hi, Logan.
What is this blimp? We got a blimp going?
Oh, yeah, that's dropping. Usually drops stuff, some kind of tickets or something.
Make it happen, Kristen Gillette. We'll get it here in Cook Center, and we'll drop T-shirts on people.
Hey, if anybody can do it, it's Kristen Gillette. She's amazing.
All right. It's Leslie Neller's mom, Jake's mother-in-law.
Oh, my goodness.
Finally figured it out after all these years.
Holy, I had no idea.
Thanks, Leslie, for teaching us. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Jake and Leslie just had I think a toddler now, Lauren. So just great story on the shoes here. Those are Dutch Thomas's shoes.
Mark Hinson wants to watch the William Jewell game when we clinched our first conference title in '89. Do you have the Zapruder film of that era?
I have a VHS of that, I'm sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
We might be able to make that happen then. That's different tech. I don't know how to make that happen, but we can just show it.
That was a great game. I might have got that switched over to DVD, maybe.
No, let's have a look. We've got plenty to choose from.
Plenty of time, too.
By the way, if you're watching, let us know, how's our audio? Are we way too loud for the game? Can you hear the game at all? Just give us a thumbs up or thumbs down if we need to make some adjustments. It's hard to tell. So this is where you guys start to take. When do you?
Well, they go ahead. They score here.
Okay.
And I think, man, here we go again. Kid hits about a 15-footer. We just can't seem to get over the top.
What was the halftime speech?
There's no way I can remember, Chad. It was probably defend, rebound, value the ball, and run would be my guess.
So, a typical halftime speech that wasn't special for the title game or anything.
Yeah. So we're still down, but it gets really ugly really quick here. That's a great pass by Quinn.
Good find, good vision there. What changed? Did they just start missing shots and you made this? Was it the same game, just that started going in, or was there a strategic change?
I don't think there was any strategic change. I mean, we just said, hey, we can guard him, and keep going inside and run. And of course, when we ran, look at the guys run down the floor. As soon as the bucket scored, they turn and they sprint down the floor. You know, they don't talk about a shot made, or they don't talk about a dunk. They just turn and they sprint down the floor.
And that's I hear it all the time. Is that Utah drills?
Yeah. Utah.
They have nightmares about it after their playing days.
They do. It's a pretty tough drill. There's our first lead. A typical Hawkins from 2 inches.
I saw him do that 100 times.
Yep. Hawkins from 2 inches. That's pretty good D there. I'm not sure Quinn didn't get that.
But the difference with Hawkins from other bigs that I remember was his phenomenal hands that I imagine from years of being wasn't he a stud tight end?
Oh, yeah, he was.
It's like an all-state tight end or something.
Might have
He
been.
never fumbled the entry pass.
Never.
He caught it, and it was in the basket. There was no hesitation, no fumbling around. That happens so often with guys who don't have such great hands. They fumble it, the defense is there. They have to take a contested shot. Hawkins, 100% of the time, caught it cleanly and put it right up. It was really something.
Very seldom. Boy, that was an unbelievable call there, by the way. We call a Quinn for a charge, and a Quinn could run into that guy 30 times and never knock him over. And I think they may rerun this, but it's just a terrible call. And a Quinn doesn't usually complain. But, now, by the way, that is not gum. That is a cough drop. My throat was killing me.
Oh, you put it back. What a great catch by the camera crew there.
Oh, yeah.
What, you just spit it, you hacked it out of your mouth?
Yeah, it came out kind of like you were hacking today when I saw you.
And then it stuck to the floor?
It did.
Let's watch MNU on the break. This is clinical.
Oh, such a good break. Bank it, a Quinn. Watch this block.
Oh, twice. Give Hepker one, too.
That's right. It really was blocked twice. They'll show it in slow motion. It really was blocked twice.
As a statistician, that doesn't go to war.
That's right. I think they gave it to him.
I'm sure they did. It was pretty obvious.
This is it right here. You see, Hep gets it right there.
Yep.
And then Quinn gets it.
Volleyball stuffs it.
Here we go. You'll see it right here. He gets it right there,
yep.
And then a Quinn. Quinn almost hit his head on the backboard.
Is he really only 6'7"?
Oh, yeah.
He plays 6'10".
Just get off the floor so quickly. You know,
super long arms.
This is a pretty good job by a Quinn there. Wish you would bank it, a Quinn. Okay, now we come back, and they're in a 2-3 zone, I think. The biggest lead of the game here.
Lead in this one after trailing for most of the first half. Rogers on the bench right now. He was the most prolific scorer in the first half for the Comets.
To answer your question, Kristen, yes, we can do this for anything we have video of. Hawkins leading the break.
You know, Dakota could handle the ball pretty well, too. I mean, his assist to turnover was about 2-1 this year. Pretty amazing.
Doug Bachtel watching?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Here we go. They're in a 2-3 zone. Jake gets him out of it in a hurry.
You're starting to feel it a little
There's
bit.
Leighton Hepker in the stands there.
Are you allowing yourself to feel it yet at this point? Do you feel like the tide's turned?
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I
imagine you can't be comfortable ever.
No. I never get comfortable with the lead,
right.
You know. Because, first of all, we have a tendency to shoot it too quickly. But this group, man, when they got ahead, they usually put it away.
Chad Keller watching. He was the trainer when I arrived.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Kelly Hafner. Loved being a cheerleader. Might be a different name back then. Can we get some film of the NAIA tournament with Nick Sarai? That's always a fun game.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we have that.
Yeah. All that recent stuff we can find for sure. It's the older stuff that's going to be a problem.
Of course, Nick was so good.
Yeah.
There's Ron Jackson, isn't it?
It looks like him, but...
That is Ron Jackson. Yeah. And there was Leslie Neller.
Teams excited to have a 1,000-point score over their career. Pioneers had 3 guys crack the 1,000 mark just this season in Hepker, Neller, and Runberg.
I don't think Kibbers has scored yet, but he's getting ready to go on a little run here all on his own.
Excitement is not going to stop. That's one thing you can guarantee. Both student sections so well supported. Mayville.
It's amazing how many people made this trip to Branson every year. I think they went more for the shows in Branson than
Right.
the show at Point Lookout. But it was a great crowd that night, that's for sure.
I'll be honest with you, they packed the joint. They have the Pioneer
I don't
fans.
recognize any of those people, do you?
No.
That was before me.
Kansas City have made their presence felt.
No.
And again, the Pioneers have
But
been
that's great.
down the
My first few years here, the student section was, I mean, it's a lot bigger. There were more students, but this place was rocking. The conference was good. Jewel would always draw a huge crowd.
Oh, yeah.
It was always so fun.
Jewel games, we filled up the Cook Center.
Right.
So, and this is a full house here. I mean, there's
Right.
a couple places that you can't get to it, but of course they came from 900 miles. 9 hours.
And what, I haven't heard of them before this or after this. I don't know what, are they still in the NAIA?
Oh yeah,
Are
in fact they made the NAIA Division II tournament this year.
Okay.
But their coach did a great job.
And this is the last year of split divisions.
That's right. Next year it'll be a 64-team tournament, but there'll only be 16 in Kansas City.
What do you feel about that? I love it, but I feel like traditionalists or guys who've been seeing it a certain way for so long don't like it. What do you think?
I hate it.
There you go.
I think
Switch to a full shot of this.
I think they're making a big mistake. I think it ought to be 32-team tournament. That's
Just,
what it always is.
just for a couple seconds.
back in his head coaching days at Maquoketa High School. in
Never mind.
Iowa, had a point guard
Cancel that.
by the name of Rocky Lamar.
That's my old high school coach right there, of course, Coach Fleming.
His old point guard as an
I
assistant
learned
coach
more
on
about the game
bench, and
from him than anybody else.
How long was he a coach here for you?
I think he came in the fall of '05, and he stayed as an assistant on the bench through 2009.
And his kid played for you, right?
Oh yeah, his kid was a phenomenal. In fact, his kid took us to the championship game in 2001.
Damn.
Dan Fleming scored 150 points in 5 games.
I've seen highlights. He was something.
Oh, he was something else. Good jump out of the gym.
Now, the first time I always saw Bill at games and stuff, he would come to the table and get stats or whatever, but I never had any interaction with him until after the loss in 08-09. I snuck into the locker room just to get, I'm supposed to be a liaison to the media and whatnot. That's a tough shot.
Great rebound by Danny.
And of course,
Once again, poor Matt in this game had to shoot several shots right at the end of the shot clock.
but at the end of the game, everyone's crying and depressed and down. You lost in the Final Four. And I just kind of stood in the corner of the locker room, out of the way, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. And I saw Bill say to somebody, "Who's this guy?"
Oh, he
That was
didn't
my
know
first.
you were.
That was my first interaction with him. Just angry that I was in the presence of the team. So
Yeah.
that's what happens, though. I try to stay behind the scenes as much as possible. That's Danny Hawkins doing Danny Hawkins things.
Oh man, Danny got fouled, I thought, on that. He just kind of ignored it and scored it and goes right to the other end of the floor.
Josh Bennett says Jake Neller was one of the most underrated players in MNU history.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Of course, his whole team got inducted into the Hall of Fame here,
Yep.
which they should have.
Touched on his numbers from last night, 18 and 15 on the big game again tonight here in the championship.
Give me a foul.
They were very, very physical. But back then, you were allowed to be even more physical than you are now.
It seems like it. And it seems like in tournaments like this, they loosen it up just a touch, too, because they don't want games taken forever.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Jake, there's no place to go there, and I think he might have got fouled again.
But these games are more fan-friendly, too, if they're not blowing the whistle every 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Now there's Ryan coaching like crazy. He's letting Matt have it.
Hawkins averaging almost a double-double. We'll see run.
Danny and Lauren Hawkins are watching. You're my favorite player, Danny. I don't think I've ever said anything to you ever, but there you go.
Now Hepker returns.
Jamie Calvin Kibbers
Oh,
watching.
yeah. I don't know if Jamie ever got to watch Calvin play. So she's getting to watch it now.
B. Smith is watching. We'll
Hey.
probably pull up some of your football games at some point.
That would be great. So you look now, they have 35 points. And I think they had 24 with 6 minutes to go. So they've scored in the half. So they scored 11 points. And
They just can't get good shots off, it seems like.
yeah. These announcers were constantly in shock that we would take time off the clock. Well, when you're ahead by this many, you're going to take time off the clock. Unless you have a fast break layup.
Right.
Try to convert at the other end. The Pioneers are being patient. They can maintain and not turn over the ball. They're going to find
Good picture of Brenton.
They've done that during the second half. Big reason why they have a 7-point lead.
We still run that play out of bounds.
Shooting percentages for both teams.
That's one of the things that's changed a lot since this time, especially, is the play calling and the actual style of basketball, it seems. We can talk about that in a little bit. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Oh, the three-point line has become such a important part, you know. And I used to always say, if you shoot a three, it's usually a bad shot.
Right.
I don't feel that way anymore. Now this is kind of a neat deal here because we, the game before, we'd come up with screen for Hep, and he must have drilled. Oh, they're telling, in fact. You know, and so that one they jumped the screen, and so you'll see what we do in the next possession. So.
Okay.
So see, there's 12 minutes left. There's all kinds of time. It's only a 7-point lead.
And they'll take it right now as they try to.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in that. In fact, I have a piece of the wood off that floor because they redid the floor that summer.
Nice.
So I have a piece of the wood.
Does it have some residue of a cough drop on it?
Oh, Chad.
So they're going to set a
Okay.
screen for Hep and we'll slip it, I imagine. So
No.
watch Hepker.
You watch Hep. He'll get the ball back. And, of course, we're running a play here, and we just don't get anything. And so the ball will come back. Not right now, but must be in this possession still. I don't think we're shooting any free throws yet.
Olive Palou watching. We'll get a couple of your games on here, too.
They had a great run every year. Olive did a great job with the girls.
Football 2008 versus Baker. I would love to watch that again as well. That's a suggestion from Paul Meinke. 2010 versus Lindenwood. And he wants only if Rick Fields will talk through it with us. That'll be a nice quiet broadcast for you. Like, well, this is a good play here.
So here they.
Yep. Sure was.
That's exactly the way Rick is. You see, they jumped the screen. There's 3 guys on the ball. Hep, crying out loud, find somebody open.
Can't do anything with it. He's got to throw the ball behind. Turnover created. Excellent job defensively with the rotations that they want to do.
So we'll keep an eye on Hep here as he goes through and tries to find his screen. He's at the
Yeah.
got the ball now. Keep an eye on him throughout the possession.
Sequence happens again.
Okay, I wish you could see the shot clock. So we're getting late in the shot clock. So now they just jumped the screen, right? So now we just flatten everybody out. We don't bring a screen up. We don't bring a screen. And Hep does a great job.
No screen this time. He'll take it one.
He's got about 4 inches on Howard. It's a pretty nice play there.
When it all fails, just be better than the other guy.
Yeah. Here they're going to show it again. I'll tell you what, look at he always is, never does he go up and not look for contact.
Right.
You know, every young guard should learn that. You know, if you go up and you're trying to avoid contact, usually they're going to get that one. But if you get the contact, you know, even if you don't make the shot, they sometimes will call the foul. But you'll know the contact's coming, you have a better chance of making the shot.
Right.
Whoop! There you go, Ryan.
Got it again. Nice.
this year.
33-2. Headed into this one of the Pioneers. Mayville State 27-8.
So they were 27-8. They had a great year.
More here.
And we still can't get that. We tried to get it. It's just not there, fellas. Quit running it. But Hep doesn't walk back. Instead, comes flying back and gets a pickoff.
Can't afford to have empty possessions.
Great pass. He's going to score that.
Every time.
That's our first double-digit lead.
Cindy Peterson says Seabass says it still feels like family.
Coach Pete.
He was
such
right. He was the tall guy on your staff, right?
Yep, he was such a great assistant coach all the years. He's probably on the bench with me for 400, 500 wins.
That was a heck of a play right there. Heck of a finish
Look
from
at
Kibbers.
Hepker. Look at Hepker. Oh, yeah, it's a great play from Adam to Cal. This is his first bucket. I think he gets the next two baskets and hits a free throw and makes some free throws at the end. But it's nice when you're 6'9", going to the basket.
20
there.
years old, yeah.
Yeah. Well, of
Fun
course,
times.
and all of a sudden, there you go. Two. There you see that he has two right there. Now, yeah, Cal and Adam played against each other in high school.
Okay.
Cal almost went to St. Ambrose school, but at the last instant decided to come and play with Adam, which I was thankful for.
Was that a factor? Then kind of.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And Coach Fleming knew him pretty well, and so Coach helped get him here too.
Tons of Iowa connections for you, for sure.
Oh yeah, and Makokata. And of course I was there, and Danny Fleming from there, and Hep from there. It is a neat little string that goes through Makokata.
Teammates knocking each other out, trying to go after it. You love the intensity. You love the hustle of it all. But again, it's an empty position.
So it's kind of a quiet run you're going on here. They just can't get shots to fall, and all of a sudden you're up. You're about to be up 14 points.
And it's over.
Yeah, I mean you got them.
Yeah, it's over.
It's like they can't do anything, and it seems like they might know it.
Well, see, what's really weird is, honestly, in every game, except for the Mount Vernon game in this tournament, we had runs like this. You know, I think they were up 30-24 at one time. So there you see a 26-6 run.
Yeah.
So, and we had runs like that in every game.
And this team was just so relentless. You didn't have to rely on Hepker getting 20 points or Hawkins getting 20. It was everybody getting 12, and maybe one guy gets hot when someone else is cold. It's such an impossible team to defend.
I think if you go on DAC stats, you can still see it, but I believe we had like 3 guys, and all of them averaged right at 16. Like it was 15.8, 15.7, 15.1, and then Cal, I think, averaged 13, so it was just a great group.
I would love to restat this game because I don't think it's included on DAC stats. That was back when they were figuring out nice cut.
Finally, we got a cut.
And a finish.
Well, in fact, if you go on DAC stats, there are 3 games that don't show up.
Right,
on
and this is one
team.
of them.
Yeah.
That was before my time. That was before people knew what they were doing.
Oh, such a great block of Quinn.
Yeah. So click individual stats tab. So this is when you start to feel it. You're up 18.
Oh, yeah. Well,
up 19.
19. They've scored 5 points in the half. And we've scored 24.
What is this? A touchscreen? Giant? What's going on?
Good. Slide that over. There, you leave that big there, and you can see. I was wrong. It's 16.9, 16.3, 15.8. I think that's Hepker and Hawkins and Neller.
Yeah, and then Kibbers at 11.5 and War at 9.1. So basically 5 guys in double figures that you can average. So here's Runberg. Do you remember?
Oh, I'm not even in the huddle. And we're up 19, and he's saying there's
Right.
too much time. There's too much time. I don't need to say a word to him.
Step on their throats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wanted to. Of course, you know, Ryan, his senior year, lost in state title game.
Okay.
So he didn't want that to happen, that's
No.
for sure.
So who beat you this year?
We lost at Park,
Yeah.
and we lost at Evangel.
Evangel was always good. Then they won the 02 title,
They did.
so they were still.
They were really good for several years there. And in fact, in 01, the year we finished second, they were really, really good. They won our league, and we ended up winning the conference tournament because Fleming just made up his mind. I had to go there and win it. There's Danny's dad, Lynn, there. Kind of cool. There's Dutch. Matt Rice, who's coaching at DeSoto High School, doing a great job there. They made the state tournament this year.
They've just signed and extended their deal. They'll host the event for 2 more years.
Brett Stillman watching. What's up, Brett? He was part of the later runs of this team. Another turnover, and they're starting to despair, it looks like.
Yeah, you know, they don't ever go away. And, I mean, they do cut it, I think, to maybe to 10, 13, something like that, I think.
You beat Arkansas Tech, an NCAA Division II team, by 1 at their place that year.
That was a great win. That was a great win.
You beat Calvary Bible 101-49 in your typical cupcake scheduling early season fashion.
Oh, you're so bad to me.
I love those games. It gets people's stats going, and that's what I like.
Now you'll see the Oklahoma. No, that's the next year. The Oklahoma City game. That's the next year.
It's a foul.
And that should be and 1, right? They do not give him the basket.
I thought it was close.
Yeah, don't give him the basket.
All right, so the Mayville State game, our stats don't show up.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I need to restat that game, and then you can pay money and have them reopen old seasons. And if there was ever a time where that would be worth it, it would be the national championship game.
You would think so, wouldn't you? I think there's several of those that are in there.
And I know there's 3, because this is in Daxtet's. There you go.
That's a great pass by Cal.
Dunks are pretty run-of-the-mill things these days, but back then it wasn't but 1 or 2 a game. Right?
Yeah, not near as much. Not near as much. And, of course, I don't know if Hawkins ever dunked.
I never saw it. Here we go.
This
Let's
is
watch it,
such a
Quinn
great
Sky.
pass.
So that was back when Daxtats was still in its first couple years, and not everybody really knew how it worked, and then some games just didn't get synced, is what it's called. You sync the stats, and it uploads it to everything,
And so we can have that put in.
maybe I'll ask. I know some people.
That would be so nice if they got credit for their stats there that aren't on there.
Right, because I remember it took me several years before I was finally confident that everyone's career stats were completely accurate, because Brenton Bell had a couple games his freshman year that weren't included, so we had to rely on your stuff and all that kind of thing.
Oh. They're showing a Quinn's.
Really featuring him tonight.
Yeah, they were. And he got fouled on that and still scored it.
Whoop! Got him again.
That was such a fun night. And Liberty Bank was our honorary coach. They did such a great job with us. Christy was the gal that took care of us down there, and they were just phenomenal.
Josh Bennett says Danny Hawkins dunked once versus Jewel in a conference tournament game. I swear.
I don't think he's right.
All right.
I don't think he's right.
We'll find video of it and prove you wrong.
Watch this play. Oops. So watch this.
Get off me. And the rebound. And a foul.
Oh, yeah. Now we're just trying to find stuff to fill it in because it's 18.
Right. And if you're not going to make if Mayville State is ever going to make a run, they needed that to work out right there.
Oh, yeah.
And so this was so demoralizing when you finally get something positive but can't cash in.
That's just kind of how the second half has gone for Mayville overall.
Get out of Monticello, Iowa. You talked about Mayville.
I'm trying to see people. There's Don and Faith again.
Craig Smith says, big town to me. I'm from a town of 700 and has found a home in leading this program. Again, they were 1-27.
Jim and Bev Smith are watching.
Oh,
I knew the Runbergs were part of the Smith family, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's their grandson, Ryan.
That's your grandson, Ryan.
Jim, I'm surprised you're not up here with us taking pictures.
Assistant coach at North Dakota State University, Division I level.
I think Coach Smith is still ticked off about not getting the foul called on Cal there. He thought that was a foul on the block.
And this vision is what he's
Dennis Troyer wants to see Adam Ootz's final game in the Cook Center against Jewel. Do you remember with that? What was that?
He did not miss a shot in that game.
Dennis always talks about Adam being his favorite player.
He had 32. You would love watching that game. Adam had 32 in that game. Did not miss a shot. In fact, maybe hit a couple threes.
Wow.
And 10 free throws. I think it was 10 for 10 from the line.
Nate Launis watching. He wants to see the 2014 Columbia game for the Elite Eight.
Oh, that was such a great game. We had a big lead and blew it.
Offensive foul. Look at it. Danny showing emotion. I'm going to back that up. I'm going to back that up because I've never seen it. I want to watch it again.
And watch what his coach does.
Yeah, you're blown up too. Let's see if it's a good call, though.
It's not a good call. Is it? Well, maybe. We'll see. Kind of jumping into him.
But he didn't yell at the ref.
No. That's because he knows I would.
That's bad.
That's back when I had hair.
Yeah.
The floor is soaking wet.
Doug Rader on the bench. I remember him.
Oh, Doug's great. Doug's the assistant coach now at Hastings in Nebraska. We played them this year.
You had about 14 assistant coaches back then.
Yeah, we had a bunch of them.
So Nate does all that now?
Nate
the
does
work
it all.
of 14?
Yeah, Nate does. Nate's pretty amazing. I don't know what I'd do without him. And he knows that too. He kind of laughs at me. As a coach, this would always make me mad because, they let all that stuff go, and now all of a sudden we're up by 18, they're calling everything. Don't want to get too far out of hand. That's his fourth foul.
See if you can see anybody in the crowd here as we pan by.
It goes so fast.
With about 2 minutes left to go in the semifinal. And he'll sit
John Nipker and Ben Swinger, all part of that team.
After foul number 4.
I think we already mentioned Brody Bell.
Rogers dumps that one in. Not especially strong from the line, only about 45%.
So you had quite a few online watching this with us, huh?
Yeah. I don't know the exact number.
Well, what in the world are they doing? They shouldn't be out anywhere. They ought to be watching this game.
You're right. Did it ever work on the story, the embedding?
Classic jinx personified. Misfire there. Rogers looking for the rebound. Loses the handle.
So Hepker with a finish there. This is a relatively quiet game from him. Is that accurate?
I think he gets 21. You just don't notice it.
So no, not at all. No. Not quiet at all.
No, I think he gets 21. Might have led us in scoring this game. Quinn was in double figures.
Yeah, he seems to be the one who's featured the most. A lot of loud plays, blocks, and big shots underneath.
Quinn? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Quinn dominated this game. He really did.
The Comet fans are still in it, but 16-point game with 6 minutes left. It's going to be a tall order. Whoa. Nice.
Runberg slipped that decal they have there.
Yeah.
We tried to make sure the kids knew that was really, really slick.
Oh, that's tough.
And so see that decal, I don't know if you're going to get to see it or not.
At mid-court?
Yeah, and it's really slick. Another couple of other neat stories about this game. Matt Clark, who played quite a bit in this game, he had some type of allergic reaction, and he looked like Hitch during part of the week. And then he jumped on his bed and sprained his foot real badly. So he was playing all beat up.
He's a mess.
He was a mess. And Jacob Neller, the night before, had to go to the hospital to get liquids put in him because he drank so much Dr. Pepper, he got dehydrated. So those are just little side notes that nobody knows about.
Well, that's the drinking problems at MNU. It's Dr. Pepper.
That's right.
That's as bad as we ever get.
That's right. Don't ever forget it. Quinn, that's such a terrible looking shot, but it did go in.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And everything's just really struggling for Mayville right there. Opportunity.
I tell you what, we did a great. Of course, they scored 31 in the first half and 29 in the second half. So if we'd had the same type of half in the second half that we had in the first half, it'd been a much better game.
Main sure that they do things the way they got this league. I would like to see them slow things down offensively again and start working some of this clock down. They got a sizable lead. They're patient.
Oh, he wants MNU to slow down. Okay. Have you ever had a team that played slow?
No. I take that back. This year's team.
That's kind of true. Is that there wasn't really there wasn't a ton of fast breaks like you usually see.
No, but you know what? In each one of the games, we got better and better and better. I was very proud of this group, especially at the end of the year. I think we were 13-10 at one time, ended up 20-12, and made the national tournament, although they didn't get a play in it. And
it was a fun team to watch. There were some times when it was just like on the road halfway through the season, you're like, man, this team just isn't very inspiring. But then it did start to turn around. You're right.
Oh, man, Anthony Brown having a great year like that.
Some good young talent for sure.
Yeah, freshman of the year. And, of course, Dakota had his normal year. And the really cool thing is Dante and Dakota and Cam Chrisman and
Pedro?
Zach Helm.
No, the seniors.
Yeah, so they would have been the first group of seniors, fourth four-year seniors since 1988 who did not make the national tournament.
Oh.
And so they took care of that, because
right.
Although it doesn't show up,
it counts.
They're going to get their banner on the wall, So I was awfully proud of those young men. And to win 20 in a season is so hard to do. It's hard to win one game, and to win 20 is it's amazing.
Well, this is unprecedented, obviously, with the time we're living in, and it was really frustrating to see how it's like, all right, let's put a pause on this season. Let's take a week. Nah, we better make it 2 weeks. Oh, we better cancel this. We better cancel that. And then, boom, it's just all gone in baseball, softball, and then, of course, the national tournaments for basketball, men's and women's.
And, oh, man, Ryan Thompson's team was so good this year.
Yeah.
I think that, they would have done amazing things. And the softball team was doing great. And, of course, Nate Weeds always does a great job with the track program.
Yeah, the track was probably they were on track to win a conference title, or one of those teams anyway.
Yeah, that's just a crying shame that we didn't get to see those teams compete.
Yeah, the softball team played right with Science and Arts, who's a top team in the country, and lost that game late, but they were right there with everybody.
Well, I think the baseball team was ranked.
Yeah, they just cracked the top 25.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Brenton, don't ever forget there's somebody chasing you. It's a great pass. So all of a sudden here, I think they...
Yeah, you can get it to a manageable deficit if you make this.
Bam. So all of a sudden it's 13.
There you go. It's a foul.
No, it's clean.
Oh.
Wasn't it, Brent? We know it's clean. Brent's probably watching it.
They needed that.
That's
Oh,
such
look,
good
what a
play by
huge
Hepker.
swing.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get
yeah.
that call, that's a game. All of a sudden it's 15 instead of 11 or something.
Yep. 15 real quick.
Even 10. And if you score here, then you've broken them
back.
again.
Yep.
Well, that's a big call.
It is. It is.
You always say you don't get calls. You got that one.
I think Brenton goes to the line, goes 1 or 2, and all of a sudden it's 16. You think he got fouled, huh? You think Brenton fouled him?
I do. You would have wanted that call.
Yes, I would have.
Especially the way the game was going right there.
Oh, yeah.
Do they show it? Do they show that play again?
No. No. They usually don't, if it's a
Right.
questionable call, they usually don't show it.
So how many individual Hall of Famers are on this team? Hepker, Hawkins, Bell,
Brenton.
and Lamar
Yeah.
for the MNU. For MNU.
The guys that should be Cal, Quinn. Oh, Danny. Don't forget Danny Hawkins.
Yeah, I
Did you
said
say
that.
him?
I
Okay.
said him.
Yeah, Danny, Adam, Brenton, Cal should definitely be it before it's all over with.
All right,
Maybe
he's-
even Jacob Neller, you know. Quinn, all those guys could get into the Hall of Fame eventually. Of course, don't get me started. I'm going to name all my guys.
Yeah, every time we ask for nominations, it's plenty of reps in men's basketball for sure, and deservedly so.
Yeah. They're great kids.
It really is the flagship program of the school as far as the success goes and how long you've been around, and it's just a great reputation throughout the country.
It's awful kind of you to say, and although I think each one of our programs, I think John Lewis does an amazing job with the women's program.
Absolutely.
Ryan's a great job with the baseball program, and how about Kevin Wardlaw in soccer? You know, I could go through them all.
Absolutely.
I
And
think they're all such great coaches.
you don't have to go to all the games, and I do, so it's great that everyone's pretty good at least.
Oh, yeah.
So it's I cover all these teams and go to every home game, and every sport is fun to cover and fun to watch and highly respected throughout the country.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, adding Molly as the volleyball coach, she's doing a great job. Anyway, that's a pretty good pass there.
Coach Wade bringing the softball team
Oh,
up.
yes.
We've got to mention everybody now that we've started.
Yeah, I
Who
know.
have we
I
forgot?
hope we don't forget somebody.
Paul
here.
Hansen has
Paul
been
Hansen,
awesome
the
for
new-
2 weeks.
All of a sudden, they got 115 people. Is
Right,
that a
yeah.
good night? And we don't have school. Paul's doing amazing things.
Yeah, watch out for football in the next few years. That'll be fun to get back on track. Earlier in the decade, it was elite, and we're trying to get back there.
Showing some clips of a Quinn again. That's awful fun to do. I'm sure people blow it up and say we forgot somebody, but
Nate Weens dominating everything.
he does. There's no doubt. Great coach. He played for me, you know.
I did not.
Yeah.
When was that?
That would have been in mid-90s, late 90s. I can't remember. Nate can tell you.
I didn't know he was a player.
Yeah, he was a basketball player. And just played 2 years.
Hated the coach, got rid of him, got out of there.
Yeah, he had to get rid of the coach, but he couldn't get rid of him, so he
Right.
decided not to play.
Just bail out of there.
No, Nate's a great young man. Great coach.
Yeah.
See, the cow caused that miss. There's no doubt about that.
So at what point in a game like this do you start to, I mean, obviously you can feel it now. You're not completely comfortable. There's still a remote chance that they can make a huge run. But with 1 minute left, do you relax? I know that you take out the starters here relatively soon, right?
We
Or maybe with in the final minute.
Yeah, we don't get them all out. They get out in the final minute. Now we start doing a little bit of offense defense here, mainly because
Foul trouble.
yeah, so that we're doing that. But that's the only reason why. Like Quinn and Danny will go back in for defense. And maybe it's because we didn't think they could shoot free throws, and we figured they're going to be fouling us.
Right.
I mean, I'd foul a Quinn every time he touched it right now, you know, and he wasn't as bad a free throw shooter as everybody thought he was.
But he's who you want if you're trailing.
Oh, yeah, they're going to foul him, so, of course, there's pretty nice play.
That works. Free throws. So Hepker was 79%, Hawkins 60%, Neller 69%.
not a great free throw shooting team, honestly.
Kibbers 63 and War was under 50 at 47. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's the reason why he's not in. What was Brenton that year? Bell.
82.
So see, we had our best free throw shooters on the floor there. Maybe could have put Austin in there, Boots.
Yeah, he doesn't play at all here. He's at 93%.
Oh, Austin.
92.
Yeah,
But it was only 12 of 13.
Well, but Austin.
I don't even think I've seen him on the film yet.
Yeah, he just plays at the end. But Austin, I mean, what a great young man. He ended up, his 2 years, his junior and senior year in high school, they win the state title. And, and he comes here to Mid-America, and everybody says, well, Danny Hawkins went to 4 Final Fours. So did Austin Boots, and Austin is the one in the Oklahoma Baptist game that hit the three from the corner.
Oh, man.
Just drilled it, and he was and in this particular year, it was really tough for him because he played more as a freshman. So he ended up not getting to play as much, but he stayed so positive and was such a good influence. And you saw he shot the crap out of it, was on the floor.
Right.
That's what we've been slipping on, by the way, that hard work you thing, yeah.
Oh, that's right. At College of the Ozarks, the students they do the maintenance and the gardening and all that stuff.
They do everything. Yep, they do everything.
Even like food service and all that?
They do it all. I don't know if they do the, I don't know.
I'm guessing there's code violations in that, but anything that they can do,
they do them.
The students do it. I love that concept.
Yeah.
Just keep scoring.
Such great care of the ball. I mean, I think that whole possession, I don't know if the ball hit the floor. Quinn just had a son. I think I might have mentioned that earlier. The interesting thing about that, Quinn wore his last name is also a Quinn. So no, I got to get this right. His last name is Ward, so that means that his boy is named War Aquin Atir War.
Right.
So that's the way they do it over there in the Sudan.
I remember it like Bol from
Bol. Yep,
Manu Bol's kid is like that.
So technically this could be War. His son could be War.
That would be great.
Yeah. But he's just an amazing young man.
Will he come play for you when you're pushing 90?
That's a different question. Yeah. Usually, Chad, I get, when are you going to retire?
Right.
Going to be playing for you when you're 90?
Yeah, retire for what? What are you going to do? Sitting at home? How are you liking the quarantine?
Oh, I hate it. Yeah. I hate it.
So here's where you can start to feel it.
There's Brad Kibbers. That's Cal's dad. So some of these interesting ones.
Is that 5 fouls?
No.
Just time to.
Oh, it might be 5.
Starting to
Did
feel
he just get fouled? Did he just commit a foul? No, I think we just took him out. There's Christy Williams. She's such a great gal. There's Adam Hooker, who's the head coach at Sterling College.
Yeah,
and his dad. Yeah.
Danny Hawkins says, thanks for streaming all this. Miss this group more than words. Love you all.
Oh, Danny, what a great thing to say, Danny. We miss you, too.
Kathy, the Lots are watching. Coach Babs is watching. Remember Steve Babinski?
Oh, yeah. Is he still at Indiana Wesleyan? Is that right?
Yeah, dominating down there.
You know, we're going to play there. Well, if we have the year.
Right.
We're going to play there next year. So.
Cindy Hepker. Great memories, great people.
That's such good stuff.
Going down memory lane.
It's really, and I watched the game twice just to refresh my memory. And, oh, man, I had so much fun. There's Austin.
There you go.
And, of course,
they're still sprinting down the court.
Yes, it's amazing.
There's only one way to play for MNU.
Right. Off the bench into the game, and he gets a bucket in the national championship game. Just a young sophomore able to get out there and get some experience in this setting.
So Hepker's fouled there, and they're starting to foul now.
Yep. And I think he goes 2 for 4 here at the end.
So before the game, we had that little video with AD Todd Garrett. And if you notice, behind him, the scoreboard read the final of this game. So if you watch this back, check that out. We fired up the new Cook Center scoreboard to show MNU versus Mayville.
Said 78
so 19 points. Yeah, you're right. 21.
Yep, so he gets 21. Oh, here's Ryan Redbird. Thanks for doing the game, Coach. Fun watching the game again.
Yeah, I bet you got a bunch of texts. Do you know how to work that phone?
One of our recruits, A.J. Elliott. It'd be great to have A.J. become a part of us. Checking you out, Coach.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of fun. Be a part of us, A.J.
Maybe in 20 years we'll show your national championship game and go through it again.
That'd be so cool.
That's pretty impressive. Olathe, not a fun place to go visit.
I think they're talking about how both the men and the women didn't get beat at home that year.
Oh, that's right. And that's the thing. Both national championships. This year, the women made the Final Four this year.
That's right.
And no one even remembers that because you overshadowed. And then in 2016, the women win it all, and you guys make a run to the Final Four. And that was overshadowed. But,
oh, yeah.
But it was like, whoops.
Boots try to deal with that to Neller, and that's a turnover.
Austin didn't have many of those the next 2 years. He was phenomenal.
But that's just remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry. Remarkable that you both reach the Final Four and one of you win it. Twice.
It's amazing. And, you know, John got back to the national tournament again this year. They were going again.
Yeah, that was unbelievable to hear that.
Yeah.
6 teams from the conference made it this year.
And you don't get any buckets.
Oh, John's done such a great job. He's gone to the national tournament every year. He's been a head coach.
Yep. I think it made 9 straight.
Division II fantasy basketball. But if they do, you're not going to be very pleased that War's going to the bench, missing opportunities to finish at the rim. I'm just saying. Opportunity to rack up good numbers. Maybe help you win a fantasy championship.
So again, thanks for watching and suggest other games to us, and we'll stream it. We've got nothing else to do in the athletics department for the next 5 months or so. So we'll give the fans what they want.
Averages 17 and 7. And he's a first-team All-American guy. Yeah, I take him. If War was an
I know I've had a blast. It's been a lot of fun, Chad. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, this has been great.
Brenton. I should stat this game and let everybody know what the stats were, since we don't have them anywhere.
You could fire up DAC stats and do this. It wouldn't take too long. Of course, I'd have to stat for them as well.
Just set it up. You're up by 20. It's a minute 40 left to go. Deep 3-0. Hefker. Fighting for it. Rogers puts it down. Great game for Rogers.
90 seconds left. You're up 18. Everyone pretty much knows it's over.
Pull it out. Settle. I got 26 on the contract.
Oh, they redid it a little bit there.
See, now just pull it out. Settle. If they're going to foul you, they're going to foul you. But, I mean, I wouldn't even foul at this point in time.
And here I think Hep just goes 1 for 2, I think.
Well, you've seen it enough times. You should know.
Ends up with 21. Yeah, I think we're going to win it.
I think you've got it. You starting to get comfortable.
There's nothing for those guys to be hanging their heads about.
And how much of the celebration and ceremony does it show and whatnot?
It shows us going nuts. And then they show all of the Mayville State being introduced, all their kids being introduced, and then it breaks away.
Okay.
So, we don't need to show it at the end, just show how you celebrate like crazy. And I promised Coach Pete that I wouldn't jump in his arms again until we won a national title. So when it's over, I jumped in his arms again.
Well, he's the right size for that.
Oh, yeah. He had no problems hanging on to me. He was such a great assistant.
He really
did
yeah.
everything he asked and worked so hard, and the kids all loved him. And
You're still not satisfied, though. Look, oh, there you go. You just gave him a tight-lipped smile like, yeah, we got this. But I'm going to pretend like I'm still stressed.
I don't know how many times Coach Pete over the years would say, hey, when are you going to pull the rabbit out of your hat? And we always got a big kick out of that. So.
No threes, no fouls?
No threes, no fouls.
Still.
Yeah. Boy, I was fat. About back to that weight again, dadgummit.
So, yeah, you've got the starters still back in there.
Yeah, we get them out here in a minute. But the other thing, you have a tendency to say, okay, they have to put up the white flag first.
Right,
Right. So we do that a little bit as coaches.
And sometimes if you get guys from the end of the bench in there who are cold, they start throwing the ball away, and all of a sudden a 6-point run, and then you have to put them back in, so you don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I hate to be messing with that. But now he's pulling his guys out, and so.
All right, once that happens, then you can.
Yep, we're going to get them out, and unfortunately, I think they go down. I don't know why I didn't have them up. Oh, here they go. They're starting to come in now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun to watch those guys get into the game. Derek Quinn's still in, of course.
Working our way to the final minute here. This national championship. Chad Hobbs.
Quinn bothered that shot.
Just rubbing salt in the wound. The poor guy came off the bench and has to shoot over that guy.
Oh, yeah.
So here you go.
So here they're all checking in, and, of course, they're saying throw the ball out of bounds. So finally we just call timeout to get them in.
There's 40 seconds left. Throw the ball out of bounds to call timeout, something. And Rocky Lamar's going to take a timeout and empty his bench right now. And the reason for why I say that is twofold.
So
To get the admiration.
that's Brody Bell getting in, Ben Swinger getting in, Brady Small getting in, John Nipker's getting in, and I can't remember who I think it's Matt. We put Matt back in too.
Okay.
Now the reason why the two guys that are in warm-ups down there is we didn't have enough uniforms back then, so we couldn't put them in. That was Alex Boudreau and Garrett Smith. So.
And a game in which the Pioneers are going to end up hoisting up a national championship. Certainly is the case. John Nipker out there.
I think Nip gets a shot off here. Oops.
Lefty. I told you he was lefty. Remember that?
John Nipker?
Yeah. I was saying it's remarkable how many lefties you've had over the years, because it's a weird number, and I was like, I think I remember Nipker, and you're like, no. But yeah, I just saw him shoot left-handed.
He's lefty.
Good thing we got that squared away.
Yeah. It's kind of fun at the end of this.
Rocky Lamar, Mid-American Nazarene. They've been close.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Look at those kids. There.
Division II national champions, the Pioneers from Olathe,
That's fun to watch, guys. I hope we get to do it again sometime. Of course, went down to console. I don't know if that's Monty Rogers or not, but
That's always the part that goes unseen. The losing team and the seniors from those teams.
oh yeah,
They're done, and that's it, and they're sad, but it's great.
chance of NMU here from the fans.
Close enough.
MNU, Mid-American Nazarene University, the winner by 18.
such a fun game. Such a fun game. And see, so this is all go through Mayville State's all tournament, all introduce all of them, and they didn't get to us.
All right. Well, do you want to wrap it up then?
Well, I tell you what.
Or is there something else to see?
No, there really isn't. This was just so much fun. And those kids all, I hope all of them watched it. It was a lot of fun, and sure I'm proud of them. And of course, all the kids that come to Mid-America, they're usually great kids. And I wish they all could, get to do this. So much fun.
It was always the goal of my career. Just give me one national title and I'd be satisfied. And I got it in 2016 from women's basketball. But
You always want to try to get more than one, though, don't you?
yeah, and now I want more. So
yeah.
I'm not satisfied. So Rocky Lamar, I'm Chad Jenkins. We'll do more of this. It seemed to go well. People seem to like it. As many games as we can find on the archives, and we can hook up this technology and put us in the bottom of the screen and talk through it. We'll keep doing it. So for Rocky Lamar, I'm Chad Jenkins. Thanks, Keegan Cook, our producer.
I had a blast. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We'll do it again.